Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the big Overwatch 2 invasion news, the story mission stuff that we got earlier this week. We got news about kind of the future direction of the game, what we can expect in the story mode, at least in this early kind of first drop for the story mode, pricing, all that type of stuff. We're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to talk about Season 6 in general, so we're talking about the other content coming in Season 6 as well. If you want to follow along, I'll have the article up on the screen. It's from the Play Overwatch website. You can also find it in the description, as well as links to any other things that I talk about and show you on screen. But you can see here, introducing our most exciting season yet, Overwatch 2 Invasion. This will be for Season 6, dropping August 10th. So obviously right now, Season 5 going on. It's the Quest Watch, or Mischief and Magic, the fantasy-themed Battle Pass. I love it so far. I think it's so good. It's my favorite season yet, honestly. And Season 6 looks to be very, very good as well. And there's a lot to talk about here. I didn't talk about the news from a month ago when they, or at least not on YouTube, when they announced that the hero missions were gone and the PvE was being kind of fundamentally changed going forward. I think that that's worth noting and mentioning and talking about because I do think that that is relevant to where we are with the game. I think the game itself is going to be different than the vision we were sold on back in 2019. And I understand why a lot of people are upset about it. I didn't want to talk about it when I made my last video, or when it happened last time around, because I honestly just felt like the types of reactions we were going to get were going to be the same across the board. And a lot of it was just anger, and I just didn't want to... It felt like a very bad time to try to have a conversation about it, especially because I just didn't think we had enough information. Now that we know a little bit more, I feel a little bit more comfortable kind of jumping in and talking about it. So let's talk about what we have with Overwatch 2 Invasion. Let's talk about the big stuff, all the big news, all of the things going on. Let's go. Let's jump in. So here we talk a bit about just kind of the premise of the story mission, that in 0 Hour, which was the Overwatch 2 reveal cinematic, we saw that the rogue Omnic group Null Sector invaded Paris, and then they were stopped. But that is now a larger campaign by Null Sector, where they're bringing utter destruction to every city, and they're trying to kidnap Omnics for an unknown purpose. So here's all the big stuff here, and this is where I'm just going to read everything off to you as we go. In Overwatch 2 Invasion, you and your friends can take on 3 action-packed missions that take place in Rio de Janeiro, Toronto, and Gothenburg. Massive maps with complex objectives and an in-depth storyline that will guide you along the way. You'll fight against the intensified forces of Null Sector, who will continue to attack until you've completely dismantled them. Stay alert for challenging enemies that haven't been encountered before, such as the powerful artillery and the deadly stalkers. You can get started on your mission to save the world with the Overwatch 2 Invasion bundle for $15 US. And this bundle includes access to the Overwatch 2 Invasion story missions during the season and permanently after, 1,000 Overwatch coins equal to their premium battle pass, a $10 US value, a brand new Sojourn Legendary skin, which is a $19 US value, and for those of you who don't already have access to Sojourn, this will give you permanent access to Sojourn as a playable hero for new players, unlocked upon completing story mission challenges. They close out here by saying the Overwatch 2 Invasion bundle is intended to give new and veteran players alike the opportunity to explore this brand new story arc while giving them additional coins to unlock the premium battle pass or to buy cosmetic content for their favorite hero. So before we talk about the ultimate bundle, let's just talk right now about this. $15 bundle that gives you access to the Overwatch 2 Invasion story missions, which was confirmed by Jared Nice to just be the 3 missions for Rio, Toronto, and Gothenburg. You can see here, someone on Twitter asked, hey, the purchase for the story mode, is it first 3 missions, or is it a one-time purchase for all of them? And he said it's for the first set of 3 missions. So $15, you get the first set of 3 missions forever, as well as 1,000 Overwatch coins and a Sojourn Legendary skin and Sojourn if you don't already have her. This to me is kind of where the big divide is coming in the community, because my thing is, like, the $40 price point to me for the ultimate one is irrelevant when you consider the fact that, like, There are people who are complaining about spending 15. If you're not going to spend 15, you're not going to spend 40. And so I'm not even going to begin to talk about the $40 price point yet because I don't think it's as important. To me, the big thing is the $15 price point. There are a lot of people who are adamant, I'm not spending $15 on the story missions. The fact that they gutted the PvE, they got rid of the hero missions, and they did all of this stuff, and now they're charging us $15 for the story missions is a punch in the face and a slap in the face. And they don't care about their fans, they don't care about the audience. And my reaction to that is pretty much not what's happening. And it's thinking in a bubble instead of thinking about the gaming scene as a whole. And a lot of this comes down to a couple of different factors. I don't think Blizzard has done a very good job communicating everything going on with this. A lot of that also comes down to, I think, members of the community and content creators have been very, very heavy and high on spreading misinformation, where PvE is dead, except for the fact that the primary PvE that they were always trying to sell as the main driving point for Overwatch 2, which was the story missions, isn't dead, right? And that a huge part of the PvE is very much still alive. It's just the hero missions aspect of it that's dead. But PvE as a whole is not dead. It's just one aspect of it. But you had content creators and news outlets, I'm not going to get them off the hook either, who push this narrative that PvE is gone. There's no PvE in Overwatch 2 anymore, which is just not true. And now you have them saying, here's the story missions that we told you a month ago are still here, that they weren't going anywhere. And now people are confused, and they're like, oh, so now we have to pay for it? I'm confused. So I think some of it comes down to the fact that I think there was just poor communication, and I think there's a lot of misinformation being spread around, which is part of why I probably should have made a video a month ago to really kind of hammer in the fact that like people are just missing the point for a lot of this stuff, and that really bothered me. But that's getting sidetracked from the main topic at hand here, which is the $15 price tag that a lot of people have taken issue with. I don't really think $15 is really that big of a deal. It's $15. For $15, I can buy... let's see, the invasion story missions that I can play over and over and over again, 1,000 coins, which will get me a battle pass, which I'll get pretty good value out of, and a legendary skin, which once again I can get good value out of. Or for $15, I can buy like a burger or like a chicken sandwich or something. Like, yeah, like $15 isn't that bad, and it's not like you're buying something that you will only use once. Like, this is a better value than a $15 movie ticket. All right, like people have gamer brain has taught people that spending any money on a video game is bad, and that's just not true at all. I don't know where this narrative has come from for so many people, but $15 isn't that expensive in the grand scheme of things. For the value you're getting here, there are some games that have way, way, way worse things you get. I have issues with some of the pricing in Overwatch 2. I don't think legendary skin should be worth $19. But, like, to me, the bundle prices for a lot, like the big bundles for stuff like the Invasion Bundle or the Battle Passes or the Watchpoint Pack, the value of that has been very, very good. I bought the Watchpoint Pack, okay, when the game launched, or before the game launched. I spent $40, okay? With that $40 that I spent, I have gotten 5 Battle Passes without having to drop a penny extra, okay? I haven't had to spend $10 on a Battle Pass once, because the amount of coins that you get, you get the first 3 Battle Passes included in the Watchpoint Pack. Plus, by then playing for those 3 seasons, I was able to get enough coins to be able to afford the next 2 Battle Passes. So, in that regard, like, that was a really good value for me. I got 5 Battle Passes for $40, plus other stuff that came with it as well. So to me, this is $15, and I get a Battle Pass, a legendary skin, and the story missions. Yeah, that's a good value, and I think that's perfectly fine. I don't have an issue with the price. I know some people will, and that's just people's opinion. On top of that, the $40, I don't even think that's a bad value, because once again, you get a Battle Pass and the 1,000 coins. You get everything you get up here for the $15, right? Then you get the premium Battle Pass included, and 20 Battle Pass skips, so that's $30 value right there. And you get an additional 1,000 Overwatch coins, so you're getting the next 2 Battle Passes. Once again, $40, you're getting 3 Battle Passes, and you can turn that into more battle passes later, much like you did with the original with the Watchpoint pack. And you get 3 legendary skins because you get the Sojourn one and then the new legendary skins for Cassidy and Kiriko, which it was confirmed again by Jared Nice that they're new legendary skins. So, like, to me, the value's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with the value. A lot of people are sitting here and saying, like, the fact that they're making us pay, it's a free-to-play game, this is ridiculous, this is absurd, we shouldn't be paying for this. And my response to you is, that's not the way the industry works. Like, this is a game. It has to make money. And if you don't want it, like, if you don't want to spend money, then don't spend money. Understand that if you want to play video games, you generally speaking have to spend money. There's very few free video games where you have access to everything off the bat without paying a penny, right? Like, it doesn't exist. Really, it just doesn't happen. So I really don't care. I don't think the value is that bad. I think it's fine. I think a lot of people are overreacting. I think a lot of people, like I said, operating in a bubble. They think about everything as a one-off thing. They think about everything as, this is just Blizzard being bad. Guys, Halo Infinite, the same thing. Halo Infinite, you could play the multiplayer for free, but the campaign was something you paid for, right? The difference with that is Halo had, 6, 7 previous games, however many it was, when you include kind of the whole litany of Halo games, to build up people's understanding of it, that they're committed now to the story, right? And so that the people who want to play will buy it, and people who don't want to play will just play multiplayer, and it's fine, right? Which is the same thing with Overwatch. If you want to play the story missions, then you pay for the story missions. Now, I think the biggest problem is, depending on how many missions we get, that $15 price tag, that $40 price tag, is going to grow and grow and grow. And so, if there's a lot of story missions, if they say if there's 20 missions, let's say, or 21 missions, let's say, right? That's 7 drops, assuming there's 3 drops each time, right? Well, that's $105 if you go for the $15 tier, right? Or that's $280 with a $40 tier. If there's, assuming the price stays the same and the same bundle options are available every single time, there's the possibility that you're going to be spending a lot of money. Now, there is also the possibility, because once again, we don't know how this is going to work. There is the possibility that in the future, they have bundles for the first set of 3 missions, and then later missions, like, yeah, it's $5 each, and you just get the missions, right? We don't know. We genuinely have no idea how it's going to work. Some of that is I think, on purpose. I don't think they want to tell us exactly what's going to work, because they're probably figuring some of it out as they go. But to me, this idea that it's just this ridiculous thing that they're asking us to do, it's really not. It's not that big of a deal. I think it's a very overblown reaction. I think there's a lot of content creators and news outlets, like I said, that have been kind of making it even more difficult and have been really kind of creating this divide that is, I think, very bad. I think you can have your problems with Blizzard as a company. I have tons of problems with Blizzard as a company. I don't really have an issue with the Overwatch team that much. They've made decisions that I don't agree with. They've done things that I don't necessarily think are great for the game, but they're receptive to feedback. And at the end of the day, they only have so much power in a lot of ways. Like, their hand is forced at times to do certain things. And that's part of the problem with this situation, is that it's not nearly as simple as people make it out to seem. So, like, to me, this is not that big of a deal. And I think this genuinely, to me, all of this here, Season 6 looks really, really good. And I think the core of it is we're going to finally get story missions. And everything that I've seen about them, I'm excited about them. I think if they're good, if people like them, immediately no one's going to care about the fact that they're $15. Right? No one's going to care. Because people don't want to pay for something, and then they'll pay for it anyway because they realize it's good and they have fun and they don't care anymore. So, like, to me, it's a non-issue, but it's a big thing. It's a lot of people talking about it, and it's part of why I think that the game feels like it's super, like, everyone feels like, oh yeah, the community's dead, whatever. But if you're online, everyone is angry and everyone has terrible opinions online. It's most of the people who spend a lot of time online are like people who don't have lives and who just like go online and do whatever. Like, go out and like do something else and like realize that your anger over a video game is just ridiculous, and like there's so many other things to like actually put your time and effort and energy into. They make you angry about something on the internet. But I digress. But you continue on with Season 6, and you see the other content, right? An all-new co-op event where we'll be able to take part in a bonus new co-op mission on King's Row, where we can explore new areas of the map and guide a well-armed TS1 pushbot on a mission to save Iggy and the rest of the Omnic Underworld from Null Sector. That's really, really cool. So these will probably be more similar to, like, the Archives events, if I had to guess. So not as much of a solidified story kind of narrative, but definitely like a fun little mission you can kind of have fun with. And then, of course, there's the big new drop of a new competitive mode, which is Flashpoint. Everything we know about it is that it's similar to Hardpoint, or at least that's what we are under the impression of. It's similar to Hardpoint from Call of Duty, so it seems like there's going to be kind of like 5 points. And you have to capture 3 points to win the game before your opponent can capture 3 points. And it's one that always kind of moves. There are these big maps. From what we know, there's India, and there's like a Junkertown one, like the Junkertown Arena that we saw in Junker Queen's short. So that's really cool. I like that they're kind of reusing some of the map ideas they did with Shambhala Monastery in Nepal, and it looks like they do it with the Flashpoint, with the Junkertown Arena or whatever. This is really cool. I'm really excited to see a new mode. It'll be fun to kind of try it out. My hope is that it's what we get with a lot of the old Assault maps, is that they get reworked into the Flashpoint maps, because those maps are usually pretty big, and so there's definitely, like, if they're mirrors, you can kind of create a mirrored version of the maps. We'll see what happens, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's exactly what they're going to do, but I'm curious to see if that is what they do with a lot of those old Assault maps, is start retooling them into Flashpoint or what. But this is really cool. I think it's one of those things that, once again, when everyone gets so caught up in the PvE stuff and the price tag on the story missions, like, people are ignoring the fact that we're getting a new competitive mode. Like, PvP, the free side of the game, is still getting a lot of updates and content. This co-op event isn't part of the story missions. This will be free. You don't have to pay for this. You don't have to pay for Flashpoint. You don't have to pay for the Hero Mastery or the practice range. You know, those are new changes that are coming, right? And it's one of those things that, and the new hero, you won't have to pay for the new hero, we don't even know a lot on this hero yet, other than the fact that it's a support, and she's presumably from Peru, right? So everyone's getting so caught up in this $15, $40 price point for the story mission stuff, which is going to be like an entirely different facet of the game. It's the reason why it's Overwatch 2. And it's why I'm reserving judgment for this idea of Overwatch 2 being a separate game until we get the story missions and we find out, is it really worth it to say it's a different game? Because the story missions are good and it's genuinely like, yeah, this is a different game, this is a very different experience, then yeah, absolutely that Overwatch 2 tag and the changes to the game were made. When we get like the full Overwatch 2 experience, or at least the mostly full Overwatch 2 experience, then yeah, then being Overwatch 2 is not that big of a deal anymore. It makes sense why it's Overwatch 2. But everyone's getting so caught up in this price point and this price tag, when there's so much more to this season coming up than just the story missions and just the paying the money. And it's just the thing that is very much frustrating to me as someone who loves this game. I think it has problems. Like I've said, I don't think it's perfect by any means. But I think a lot of people are missing what's important and are missing some of the key stuff because they're just focusing on certain things. Some of it comes from, I think, community members. Some of it comes from just people just having no ability to read past a headline, and they see a headline and then that's all they see. So they see like $15, for Overwatch 2 story missions. They're like, whoa, I'm going to pay $15 for the 3 missions? Like, no. You're paying $15 for the bundle that comes with more than just the missions. Or I'm spending $40 for the missions? No. That's just completely untrue. So I'm bothered and annoyed mostly by the community reaction. I think that there is reason to be upset about what has happened with the game. I think the PvE getting changed, fundamentally changed to basically be a different vision for Overwatch 2 than what we were initially sold on is frustrating. It isn't fun. It isn't good. It doesn't do anything for anyone in the community. But the devs aren't acting like it's a thing that they're happy about, right? And so I think we need to people need to relax a bit. People need to calm down. People need to like take a step down. It's not that big of a deal. Everything will be okay. Just chill a bit, relax a bit. We'll move on. Everything will be fine. I just think that there's a lot of negativity that is unwarranted with this story, and I think it takes away from some of the valid criticisms and complaints that there have been for things with the game, like the monetization prices, which have been getting better because of the way that they've been providing you with more coins. But like, the devs are listening. They are evolving the game with time. They've made some balance changes I don't agree with. They've made some other decisions I don't agree with. But we're seeing that they care, that the game is evolving, the game is changing, and people are just going to keep attacking and whatnot because they're just, I don't know, they just hate Blizzard now, which, I mean, justifiable with everything they've done. But you have to, you can't be sitting here talking about, oh, Blizzard's awful, and then go play Diablo 4. Like, oh, Diablo 4 is the greatest game. Like, you know, use your head and be actually like thoughtful in what you say and use your brain more, please, because it's really annoying to watch people just throw stuff out there that's just so untrue and complain in ways that are just, you didn't read past the headline, and I think it takes away from kind of the real nuance of the conversations that we could and should be having in regards to this situation. But this video has gone on long enough. It's already almost 22 minutes long, so let me know in the comments down below your thought. Do you think the $15 bundle is worth it? Do you think the $40 bundle is worth it? Do you care? Do you not care? Whether that be about the story missions themselves or the price point, whatever it is. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Whatever it is. I know this is a rambly kind of video, but I just wanted to talk about this because to me, this is one of the things I'm most excited about with Overwatch 2 when they announced it was the story missions. We're finally getting some of the story missions, and I just want to talk and have fun and play them, and it just feels like being a fan of Overwatch is just stepping on a minefield sometimes, because it's just everybody is angry about little things, and it's tiring. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and want more like it in the future, consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. Your support does mean a whole lot in helping grow the channel. That's going to be all for today. Hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. And until next time, bye-bye.